Sprinkles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-In and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Ever wanted to stay on vacation longer? Us too. With Vrbo's long stay discounts, you can stay longer and save more on select properties. Gotta love a win-win. Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
It's summer sales event time at Metropolitan Ford in Eden Prairie. Learn about and capitalize on the 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance plan. Eligible for 2024 and 2025 Mustangs, the Escape, F-150, Mustang Mach-E, and many, many more. Buy or lease excellent rides during the summer sales event at Metropolitan Ford in Eden Prairie, 494 and 5. MetropolitanFord.com. It's your summer sales event superstore.
It's a new talk show just for the Dakotas. Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. Weekdays from 9 till 11 on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
8:17 at KFYR. Todd Mitchell. Clay Peterson comes to the 701. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How we doing, Todd?
It's August. Do you believe that?
I know, August 1st already, so summer's almost over.
That's my problem today. I'm dragging because it's August. I was trying to figure out why I've been dragging all day. I know why. I'm getting into my fall mode already.
Well, I will tell you this. The nice thing about that is that we're closer to hunting seasons, so there is that.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, the downside of that is we're also closer to snowblower season, too, so...
Yeah, I got a great big one I put on the tractor if needed, so I'm good.
Well.
Put that big 3-point on the big tractor, and pretty much I can go anywhere I need.
You got more real estate than I do as far as that goes. Mine's just city sidewalk stuff. So if I start doing a tractor, I'm going to be ripping up grass, and they don't like that for some reason.
I could probably do your driveway in like maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So anytime, man, come on over.
blow all the snow into your neighbor's yard; they'll be pleased.
Well, what makes you think I don't already do that? Hey, I got a neighbor that we've had our differences. I'll say that, and yet, you know, when we've had nasty enough storms, and I know she's been at work, I'll get their driveway opened up so that they don't have to come and find out, oh, I can't even get in the driveway.
Oh,
you know?
See, there, you're being neighborly. There's nothing.
Yeah, well, what good is it doing me, though? So now I think since I did that for the longest time, I think from here on out, I'm just going to put all kinds of snow into the driveway. So that, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not that kind. I'm not that mean a guy. Good grief. But,
oh goodness.
But yeah, some people just cannot be made to be happy in life. You know that?
There is that.
You know? Unfortunately, one of them had to move next door to me, but that's a different story. Anywho, the South Dakota Board of Regents finally, in all caps, adopted campus carry policy almost a month after the new law took effect. What took them so long?
Well, the Board of Regents isn't exactly in South Dakota on the same level as most conservatives are, especially gun owners. So I'm sure that was part of it. And after they passed their law there, you know, Governor Roden, and I tip my hat to him, he signed SB 100 into law, which established this finally. You know, there's 10 other states that have this. North Dakota, you need to get your act together here in 27 because we need to be the 12th state. But they drug their feet on purpose, tried to, you know, work around it because you have a lot of people at the universities, and it don't matter what state it is, that do not agree with Second Amendment freedom. They just don't. Even when I went to NDSU, you know, you're supposed to keep it locked in your vehicle and this and that. And Well, let's just say I know a lot of people didn't follow that, but and nobody
Not naming anybody out loud or anything.
No, you know how that goes. So, but yeah, I'm glad to see that South Dakota now, and by law they had to do something. It was going to take effect anyway, but they just finally, you know, after the law took effect on July 1st, it took them almost the entire month of July to get their policy straight, and now. You know, it's great to see that if you're a Second Amendment supporter, a Second Amendment practicing carry person, you now have rights as a university student or people visiting in South Dakota's public universities. So I'm glad to see this. It was a big win for freedom, essentially, as far as I'm concerned. They do have some things that they came up with. Pistols and ammunition must be stored in a locked case or safe when not being carried, which I find kind of funny because what good is that? Yeah, if I'm carrying it, it's great. I mean, if they really sat down and thought about this, wouldn't it be best if you had it in your dorm room when you're sleeping and you're disturbed? Let's face it, people who commit crimes that heinous, they don't care about the law. They might bust into your dorm rooms. I don't know about anybody lately. I haven't been in college for many years, but I imagine it hasn't changed much. It's like there's an armed guard at your dorm rooms, and those little locks on the doors don't do much when there's big glass windows next to them. You can just bust out and get in anyway. So
Yeah.
You're not going to stop crazies coming in. I'd much rather have mine sitting pretty close to me in my dorm room, but I imagine that's going to happen anyway.
That's why they don't want you on college campuses anymore. They know that about you.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to break it, right? I don't care. My freedoms don't end at their stupidity. Anyway.
Do you have that on like a hat or a T-shirt? Because it seems like you should.
Put that on there. Put a great big, you know, a Colt 1911, or as Jamie said, you know, God's cartridge chambered in an AR-15, and have that. Yeah, my rights don't end at your stupidity. I like that one.
That is good. That is good.
But it does set the standards. I did when I went through this, and I kind of was going through the bill. It requires members of the public using campus facilities to adhere to these same regulations, which is interesting. And the regulations are vague, but yet specific, I guess. I mean, they left a lot of gray area in there when you read exactly what they passed. And to me, it opens up, on purpose, ways for them to still restrict students. So be careful if you're in South Dakota. Make sure you'll read the policy and see where that line is, because I guarantee you, the campus or the universities are going to take the left turn on this and try to diminish your right, even though they're supposed to adhere to the law. And the executive director, Nathan Lucas, he completely, if you look at the minutes of their meeting, he wasn't for this. You can tell it just by his tone. And, you know, you're going to have that. So people who are going to campuses, students, if you're attending in South Dakota, you now have your rights restored. Make sure you read the fine print and look between that print, because I can tell you right now, there's going to be some gray areas in that. But the law also, and I did not know this, you couldn't even carry a stun gun, mace, or pepper spray on these campuses, which, really? I mean, you don't even need to pass a 4473 to buy the stuff, but yet you couldn't take it onto the campus. Now you can. And I kind of think I kind of agree with this one. If you're not comfortable carrying a firearm, carry one of those things. It's a good way to stop anything that might happen. It definitely give you at least somewhat of an advantage and a chance. I still think a firearm's best, but if you don't you want to carry one, then you can do this. And kind of sounds like, and I know that has to do with a law that we passed in South Dakota, anybody who has the right to carry, you know, if you're not restricted by the law, you can carry in the state of South Dakota. So if you're out of state and you have a concealed carry permit that is recognized within South Dakota through reciprocity, you may also exercise your rights on the college campuses. So I'm glad they put that in there. It was a very pro-gun bill that moved through the legislature, not without opposition. There were the naysayers out there who casted doom and gloom and Wild West, and everybody's going to be less safe, which is, the stats don't say that. An armed society is definitely a polite society in retrospect, and most places where guns are freely carried, you have a decrease in crime and an increase in safety. It's just the numbers say that, and as we know, liberals don't really care about numbers and facts. It's about ideology.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. I mean,
yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, congratulations to South Dakota. Glad that the Board of Regents, at the very, very last minute that they could take, they got their policy out, and now Second Amendment rights have been restored on college campuses, universities, and technical schools down in South Dakota. So,
isn't it ironic how schools teach the amendments and yet don't necessarily follow them?
All the time. And they I can tell you, I went, 1993 is when I entered as a freshman at NDSU. That's a long time ago.
You're just a pup.
Just a pup. But back then even, they weren't teaching, they essentially weren't teaching the amendments as written. They were trying to put their little revisionist excerpts in there. That's how I got into it with my political science professor. She didn't like me much because I'd always call her out on it. Believe it or not, Todd, I was in college. I started out, I was going to be an attorney. So, yeah.
Wow.
Taking all the class. That was my
But
goal.
then they weren't going to let you pass the bar if you're going to carry. So you got to make up your mind, gun or law degree. Which is it? You can't have both.
The biggest thing, they couldn't change my thinking, my ideology, and that really bothered a lot of them. So they didn't care for me in a lot of them classes.
I had
I'm the guy that raised my hand going, wait a second.
I had this
I don't think you're right.
uber far left journalism professor, and he actually pulled me aside one day. He said, you realize you're my favorite student to get into a discussion with? It's because you will actually have the discussion. Mm-hmm. And take a contrary position, not just sit there and go, like I actually challenged him, and I got to admit, and in retrospect, he's one of my favorite professors, never mind the fact I didn't agree with him on anything whatsoever. But
all the classes I took, my history professor and my English one, which I hated English, which I did better in college English than I ever did in high school. I hated that class. But both of them were leftists. I could tell it. But like you said, you could have a conversation with them, and they didn't get mad. We weren't going to change either one's mind. But it was a good discussion, and at least it brought some kind of a question in front of everybody to make sure everyone had another viewpoint. And I appreciated that from them, too. My political science professor, she pretty much told me she was going to flunk me if I didn't change my mind. And I didn't change my mind.
But that's the difference between 80s and back was kind of one philosophy. 90s and forward was kind of another one.
Yeah, it was the beginning of all this. Now, what we probably see today, I think that it went into high gear in the 90s. We saw it even at the end of high school. Luckily, I went to a high school that did not have that yet. It has made its way in there now, but I think you started really seeing it kick into high gear then. Don't
even start me on my high school. Don't even. Although we turned out some decent basketball players of late in Minnehaha Academy, like 3 of them in the NBA, I think. So
because that's important. But.
Well, considering how terrible they were when I went to school there, at least they figured that part of it out. They've screwed up a lot of the rest of it, but they figured that part out. I can give them that much credit.
They've only taught history and government classes correctly. They might have good voters in, but anyway, in Minnesota.
Well, but correctly it's a moving target definition. There, does it give you something you can relate to, a moving target?
There you go.
It all depends on the person you're asking what it means, because Lord knows that you're going to get one thing out of, like the people that teach at your old school versus what you would say.
True, but I can tell you, the Constitution is not opinion, it's fact. And that's where the people always cloud that. And
that old thing, that's really old, They didn't have a speed limit in the Constitution either. I suppose you want to put one of those in there, too.
Well, I'd like to eliminate it, but that's a whole nother discussion. I don't believe in victimless.
You want to go back to Montana back in the day, right? No speed limit.
I was actually old enough to be driving out there when the second time it came around, and it was great. I loved it. Every time I was heading, if I had to head west anywhere, made sure I took the Montana route because it was fantastic. You didn't have to worry about victimless crimes out there. In fact, I got passed by patrolmen at different times. I don't know where they were going because I was rolling along pretty good, but I guess they wanted to go faster. So
it was a dare, because then if you went and passed them, then you were going to get the ticket at that point.
I was going 95 in my T-Bird, so I thought I was fine. I didn't have to go any faster. And he didn't have his lights on, so I don't know where he was going, but he was going there faster than me, and I thought that was cool. I wish I'd have had a phone with a video then, because that'd have been really nice to post somewhere.
Well, back in my day, you would have had videos. Just would have been a big camcorder on your shoulder, and
a huge one, yeah, big one, yeah,
yeah, and that would have made driving a little awkward.
Yeah, distracted driving at its nth degree.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say, it actually wasn't distracted driving yet because they hadn't invented that yet.
That's right. Yeah, that was a new
it really was more distracted driving than today's distracted driving was, or is. I'm sadly of the age of remembering driving through Montana round trip twice at a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. So the cruise set on 58 trying to get there in a hurry.
Wow. Even after they got rid of that, it was $5 or something. I remember that distinctively because I did get pulled over, but they didn't. But it was a way different time, and the patrolmen that were out there were way different. They didn't really care. They kind of knew the joke too. I mean, it's 700 some miles across Montana. You need to drive a little faster. It's a long way across.
Well, especially so much of eastern Montana. I mean, I realize you get out to the west and it gets all windy and stuff. Yeah, you probably ought to settle down a little bit.
Well, you kind of forced to.
But Glendive, Miles City. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
55, really?
I know.
This is what happens when one-size-fits-all government tries to happen, because in the Capital Beltway in Washington, you probably shouldn't go much faster than 55. It's crazy over there.
Yeah,
but
it's nuts, isn't it?
to say the same should apply in the Dakotas or eastern Montana is silly.
And that's after the break. I imagine we're going to talk about the one-size-fits-all in the state of Ohio, because that's a good example.
Don't even start me on Ohio. Good grief. That crazy state. Another state I had to escape from, Minnesota and Ohio. I escaped from both of them.
Wow, well, you did the right thing.
One in 87, one in 97, and I'm staying put right here. 8:33. Play. I'm Todd Guns of the 701. We got more coming up.
It's Mitchell in the Morning, KFYR 550.
A new survey shows U.S. corn growers fear losing access to key herbicides, and true armyworm infestations are reaching damaging levels. Now getting into North Dakota. Todd Mitchell pinch hitting on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
Join Piper's Auctioneers for these upcoming land auctions featuring over 14,000 acres of cropland, hayland, and hunting land throughout the upper Midwest. Piper's August land auctions feature an excellent 80-acre farmstead near Dodge, North Dakota, 80 acres of cropland in Renville County, and an excellent 320-acre property in Ward County with a gorgeous shop home near Carpio. For full details and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to Pifers.com. Pifers, celebrating 25 years of proven results.
KFYR.
For much of the Midwest, July 2025 will be noted as the wettest July in almost 10 years. Look at the 30-day rainfall totals from June 30th to July 29th. Tabulated by the High Plains Regional Climate Center shows that July rain totals are more than double the normal amounts in almost the entire western Midwest and some big swaths of the eastern Midwest. Farm groups working to shape the Trump administration's Make America Healthy Again initiative with new policy recommendations expected in August. Yesterday, the Food and Agriculture Climate Alliance, a coalition of 20 ag and conservation groups, released its own report focused on soil health, conservation, and innovation. The group calls it a roadmap to a healthier future from the ground up. Meanwhile, the National Corn Growers Association released a survey of over 1,000 farmers, warning that losing access to herbicides like atrazine and glyphosate could raise costs and reduce yields. The Baja Commission questioned the safety of those chemicals in its initial report, prompting concerns from growers who say the products are essential to sustainable crop production. The North Dakota Mill in Grand Forks posted record profits for fiscal 2025, ending June 30th. The state-owned facility reported more than $26.6 million in profits, a 28% increase over last year's record, $20.7 million. Mill President and CEO Vance Taylor credited North Dakota farmers for delivering high-quality wheat and durum, along with a 7% increase in shipment volume. The mill, which sells flour under the Dakota Made brand, is overseen by the North Dakota Industrial Commission. Despite lower wheat prices compared to recent years, the mill said new marketing strategies and strong branded product sales help boost performance. And the I-29 Moo University Dairy Webinar Series continues Tuesday, August 12th, with a webinar focusing on revisions to the USDA milk pricing system, with a presentation from Lawrence Jones, a consultant from the Farm Institute, addressing several important questions like, why do we price milk the way we do? What is a make allowance? What's the rationale behind changing the federal milk marketing order formulas? And what are some of the unintended consequences of those changes? No fee to participate, but online registrations required at least an hour prior to the webinar. Salt Mitchell pinch hitting on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
KFYR, your ag authority.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Okay, we have two must-hear interviews. First, Aaliyah Kateb. She joins Tama Daddario, and she talks about her Love Island journey, from her situationship, the producer drama, and life after the villa. Then, on Drama Queens, Stephen Coletti, remember him? Stops by to spill all the One Tree Hill secrets, from the steamy scenes and the off-screen romances. It's all happening. You don't want to miss this.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
It's summer sales event time at Metropolitan Ford in Eden Prairie. Learn about and capitalize on the 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance plan. Eligible for 2024 and 2025 Mustangs, the Escape, F-150, Mustang Mach-E, and many, many more. Buy or lease excellent rides during the summer sales event at Metropolitan Ford in Eden Prairie, 494 and 5. MetropolitanFord.com. It's your summer sales event superstore.
KFYR.
Fox News, I'm Tom Graham. President Trump's tariff deadline is here. His administration slapping dozens of countries with fresh import taxes. Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House.
Countries that were not making specific new deals for themselves with the U.S. were just told what their new rates are going to be. Mostly 15 to 20%, with some much higher. The highest in the world now, Syria, 41%.
The new rates will take effect in 7 days. A manhunt underway in Tennessee for a quadruple killer. Austin Drummond is accused of murdering 4 family members and abandoning a baby in what investigators say was a random yard.
It was a targeted attack. We don't think that there's a need for the community to be concerned as far as it being some type of random act or anything like that.
Tennessee District Attorney Danny Goodman Jr. $15,000 reward is being offered. America's listening to Fox News.
KFYR, your news authority.
You've got an app for music, an app for photos, maybe even one that helps you sleep. But only one app puts the live radio dial in your pocket and lets you save your favorite stations, playlists, and podcasts as presets. Get the free iHeartRadio app, the #1 app for radio.
Ever wanted to stay on vacation longer? Us too. With Vrbo's long stay discounts, you can stay longer and save more on select properties. Gotta love a win-win. Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
What does over 60 years of mowing performance sound like when you engage the forged steel mower deck and comfortably ride along, leaving a beautiful precision cut? You just have to get in the seat. Find the right John Deere mower for you at johndeere.com.
In today's Marketers Report, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, weighs in on audio's ability to reach any audience.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. So it's a great way to take something very precise in what we're trying to do to reach patients with something that I think we can all agree is somewhat broad in reaching many, many different audiences.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia can get more people to hear your message than anyone else. For better results for every budget, visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
BOTA spells Boda, as in Boda Box, the award-winning wines in recyclable boxes. Why do millions of people love Boda? They know great wine when they taste it. Whether you're into big, rich reds or crisp, refreshing white wines, Boda Box always delivers on deliciousness. That's BOTA, Boda Box. Find it in the wine aisle. Please drink responsibly. Copyright 2025 Boda Box Vineyards, BodaBox.com.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Today, expect cloudy skies with a thunderstorm this afternoon, reaching a high of 75. Tonight, it stays breezy with more clouds and a chance of thunderstorms, possibly bringing heavy rain and strong winds with a low of 61. Tomorrow morning remains breezy, turning cloudy with a few showers and a thunderstorm, hitting a high of 73. Sunday, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds with a chance of a passing thunderstorm and a high of 76. Monday's forecast includes cloudy skies with isolated afternoon thunderstorms and a high of 80. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
841, 61 in Bismarck and KFYR 550. More with Clay and Guns in the 701 next.
You've got an app for music, an app for photos, maybe even one that helps you sleep. But only one app puts the live radio dial in your pocket and lets you save your favorite stations, playlists, and podcasts as presets. Get the free iHeartRadio app, the #1 app for radio.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Spending time outdoors can improve overall health and wellness. Celebrate Earth Day and take advantage of nature's health benefits by visiting a local park. Recreate responsibly to protect yourself and others, and to make the outdoors safe and welcoming for people of all identities and abilities. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
1971. It was a simpler time, a groovy time. Soul Train had just started chugging along. Everyone had a lava lamp for some reason. Weeble started to wobble, but as we all know, they don't fall down. It's really something. But it wasn't all Weebles and bell-bottoms. There was also the Vietnam War and a growing nationwide movement protesting it.
Look behind you! See the thousands marching today!
Across the country, people were speaking up, and the more they did, the more they learned about the hidden underbelly of the most powerful law enforcement agency in the land. I'm Ed Helms, host of Snafu, Season 2, Medburg, the story of a daring heist that exposed J. Edgar Hoover's epic FBI snafu. Hear the incredible true story that almost got buried.
I was told that it might not be published the next day or might not be published ever.
As told by the ordinary citizens who took extraordinary measures.
Getting caught was virtually inevitable.
To expose J. Edgar Hoover's secret FBI.
Many of the techniques were clearly illegal, but justified in the interest of national security.
If it meant some risks that were involved, well, that's what citizens sometimes have to do.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
843 KFYR. Dakota Mornings, Michael Bell after 9. But first, more with Clay and Guns in the 701. Mushroom hunters stop 300-pound grizzly with handguns. It can happen.
It can happen. You know, I like to have these outdoor type, stories once in a while. I've seen this one. This is kind of cool. It's in Montana. They're out hunting mushrooms. One guy is 57. The other's 43. They're out there doing their own thing, right? They obviously carry. They went to the area where they always go, and guess what was there? Big old bear. And grizzly bears, the populations have been growing here in the lower 48 for a long time, and they're getting to spread out. And I imagine we're going to start seeing them show up, even over into the Black Hills at some point. There's already black bears there. They're finally admitting that in the very fringes of the Black Hills. But yeah, these guys were out there. They were doing their thing, hunting mushrooms, and all of a sudden, basically a bear caught wind of them. It ended up being a 300-pound sow. Why she attacked, I was kind of looking and digging for more. I didn't know if she had cubs nearby or what was going on, which would be odd, honestly. And she, like I said, I can't find anything that says if she did or not. The interesting thing, though, one guy was carrying a 1911, and that's chambered in a 45 ACP. The other one was carrying a Glock 20 chambered in 10 millimeter. Now, I love my 10 millimeter, and if I have a choice, I do like to carry that one. one guy fired 5 shots and one fired 3 shots at, about 10 feet away the way it sounded. So, somewhere around that 10-foot area. I'm telling you right now, that is not what I really would prefer if I'm taking on a grizzly bear. And you think about it, they put 8 shots into this thing as it was charging them, and it still didn't put it down. It ran off, it veered and left, which understandably, and it was injured pretty bad. But then they had to find it, and they went through the whole process of trying to get up on a hill, glass it. They let the sheriff's department know, and that they basically alerted Montana Fish and Wildlife and Parks. They sent a guy out. They finally found this bear, and it's still, when they first saw it, it was not expired. By the time that any of the, like game and fish people showed up, it had expired. So it did put it down eventually. But I don't know if you've ever been bear hunting, but I can tell you this. They're big. Even the black bears are big. You don't want to shoot them in the head. Trust me on this. And they're incredibly hard to take down. And a 45 is a big slug, no doubt about it. Even a 10 millimeter is. But the guys were shooting hollow points, the one guy. And I'm telling you, that is not my choice of self-defense in bear country. But it did the job. And really, it's kind of like a happy ending. They both survived. The bear, unfortunately, had to be put down for whatever reason. There's really nothing out there that say why this happened. Like I said, I don't know if there was cubs. I don't know if she was defending something or she just was pissed off. But it could be that there is no hunting of the grizzly bears. Since 1971, I believe it is. There hasn't been any hunting in the lower 48 of grizzly bears. And from that point on, you've got several generations of bears, just like you saw in California, mountain lion, that have no instinctive fear of humans. So they probably look at them as a snack walking by. It's like, hey,
I was going to say,
grab a Meals on Wheels type
you
thing.
smell tasty.
Yeah.
Well, it's Meals on Feet in this case, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think we need to have and I know Montana's been petitioning on this, and they might have a chance with the new administration, but we need to have some kind of management plan. Alaska manages them. So it's funny, there is a huge population up in Alaska. I'm sure everybody knows that Alaska's got lots of grizzly bears, about 30,000 of them. We got about 2,000 down here in the lower 48. But you have the same amount of problems or deaths by grizzly bear in both areas. I would say the difference is down here, again, they have no fear, so you have a higher percentage. Where in Alaska, they do manage them, they do hunt them, and you don't have near the encounters and near the encounters where they actually kill humans as you do down here. We need to start managing these bears. I'd like to see that happen. I mean, think about this. Haven't been hunted since 1977 in a lot of states. That's a long time. So why would these bears be afraid of us? We saw the same thing in California when they stopped mountain lion hunting. Lions were coming out of on these biking paths, and they started actually moving closer to them, hiking and biking, and grabbing people because they didn't have no fear of humans. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought it was a great story. Shows that carrying doesn't have to be a self-defense from a robber or a bad guy. It could just be a bad bear, and they live to tell the story.
Cousin 701 Clay here, 849. The Attorney General in Ohio slaps down a county fairs no guns allowed policy. I had to look up what county it was, and I would have thought in Urbana, Ohio, it would have been followed very selectively, and maybe I'm way off. It's been 30 years since I lived out that way, but that one surprised me that's where it was, but oh well.
Yeah, for whatever reason, you'd have thought that, you said selectively followed. It's kind of like some of the things around here, but they have a preemption law. North Dakota does. We just saw a case in Fargo where they tried to, implement their own, 2A policies, anti-2A policies, and was struck down at the Supreme Court. And I'd love to see an opinion. I'd like to see something go to Wrigley's office that it reinforces that as well, just like it happened in Ohio. County Fair Board there, evidently out of their infinite stupidity, they decided, you know what? Let's make this fair gun-free. I mean, and when they did that, there was an off-duty police officer. He's actually an off-duty police chief. And they took him, and they actually wanted to prosecute him. I don't know if how far you read into this or looked up on it, but they truly wanted to make an example of this police chief. When you look at the local coverage of this, that's what they were trying to do. Well, luckily, the prosecutor in the county decided to ask the Ohio Attorney General. His name's David Yost, and he wanted to know if the County Agricultural Society, which that's what they call them out there, and they run the fair, is a political subdivision under their preemption statute. I thought that was a brilliant way to look at it. Is it or isn't it? A lot of these, state fair boards, county boards, they all get money from the taxpayers. So are they political subdivisions? I think it's a great thing to ask our own Attorney General here in North Dakota, because I believe North Dakota State Fair still has a no guns policy. Unless that changed, that's what it was here a couple of years ago. And I think that's because there was some outside influences there. But anyway, I'd love to see, is the state fair or are our county fairs, are they political subdivisions? If they are, I would say that our preemption law, even in North Dakota, would apply. But I'm not a lawyer, so I guess I'm not just making an opinion here. But I love the fact that the Attorney General did rule on this. Now he gave clarification to anybody else trying to do this. And the county fairs now in Ohio, especially at county levels and things like that, and I would say it would apply across the board, there's a clear definition out of the Attorney General's office that the preemption law does not let you, because of how it exists, does not let you make your own anti-gun laws, either at a county level, state level, or municipality level, or anything that's a political subdivision. So I thought it was a great ruling. It gives clarity. It'll actually give a lot of people standing. I imagine if any of the pro-Second Amendment groups now have cases come up, you're going to start seeing those take place in the Buckeye State, and they're going to use this opinion to give them clarity and standing in court. So congratulations to the Attorney General out there and making the right ruling and restoring another Second Amendment right at county fairs.
And finally, our happy ending chronicle of the week. But then again, if you're an armed robber at a Dollar General in the first place, you're probably not trying very hard. But
and in Texas, of all places,
probably
not smart, is it?
No.
Grand Prairie, and it's down in Texas. Yeah, the guy goes, I wouldn't say that people are trying to rob people at gunpoint are smart to begin with. They already made some bad decisions.
True. Good point.
And I tried to find more info on this one, and it's been a while, but I like the story. You couldn't find much on it, so I can't tell you if the guy had a history, if he didn't have a history, but he, for whatever reason, he thought he could walk in the Dollar General. I mean, come on, they only have dollar items. Well, how much money? Anyway.
Exactly. How much you have in the till? $19, right?
$19. It's all yours. Here, I'll give you another 20. Yeah. Anyway, so he goes into this place, essentially going to rob it. Well, in Texas, everybody carries, it seems like, and it didn't end well for this guy, for this criminal, and he got shot. The guy was in the customer intervened. He was a concealed carry holder. He was carrying that day, and he confronted the armed guy and shot him. They feared for their life, and after the investigation took place, it was determined, yes, there was a fear for life. In Texas, just like here, you have the right to defend yourself now. And basically, this guy was pronounced dead. He assumed room temperature. Nobody else got hurt, and we took another criminal off the street permanently. You know what? Use your head. Probably don't walk in late at night in Texas and try to rob anyone. I mean, this happened at like 9 o'clock at night. And more than likely, and I would imagine that's the same in the Dakota, someone's probably carrying. It's probably not a good idea to go in there, threaten their life for a few bucks. Let's face it, no matter what, those places don't have a lot of money in their cash registers on purpose. So it's the dumbest place to probably rob anyway.
Well, I mean, that's just it. They could have, $19 in the till in case somebody has a 20 and they want to buy one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have 19 in the till. Wow. Yes, sir.
Got you everything here on iHeart. We'll have it loaded up here. Best place to get your podcasts. And, of course, KFYR 550. We're here every Friday morning, 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central. And I will be up there with Michael Bell Monday, so I'll see you Monday morning bright and early, Todd.
Well, how about that?
Morning.
Bright and early. What, are you going to be here at 3 when I get here? Or?
No.
Well, you're not here bright and early then. You're sleeping in and show up at 9. Good grief.
Drive, so I get up kind of early so I can get up there in time.
Well, yeah, that's true. You get a long commute. All right, well, see you Monday. Have a great weekend.
Sounds good. Thanks, Todd. And you have a great weekend over there in Medora.
Always remember, if your idea of holding up a store is to hold up a Dollar General, you're not trying very hard.
That's right. Get a better line of protection, because otherwise you could end up like
think. What are you planning to come away with? $19?
Yeah,
then go for it, I guess. All right, Clay, take care. 8:55. Happy birthday, Janice Wolfer of Linton. 72 coming up tomorrow. Pam Wetzel of Minokan, or at least I've got a Minokan mailing address.